The Morgan Report with David Morgan.
David Morgan of themorganreport.com for the week ending January 2023. Well, happy Friday the 13th. First up on gold from Bloomberg, gold giant JP Morgan may move into precious metals clearing in Zurich. Short read, two Swiss banks have dominated the arena. JP Morgan may be moving in. Something of interest. This is from Reuters. Gold climbs to an 8-month high ahead of U.S. inflation test. The new CPI numbers were coming out at 13:30 GMT on Thursday. The Fed's Bowman said that more hikes are necessary to fight inflation, and the soft inflation numbers could push gold above 1,900 per their analyst. With inflation still raging, the Fed may have no choice but to stick to a hawkish policy stance for a while. TD Securities believes that the Fed funds rate will hit 5.5%, and there'll be no dovish pivot until the late quarter 2023. Conversely, TD Securities judges that there'll be a general lack of investor interest in gold well into 2023. As per example of third quarter of 2022, investment demand excluding OTC was down 47% year over year, as the Fed pushed the Fed funds rate toward 5.5%. I disagree with that second statement. I think the run to gold has begun, as I've said on almost every podcast I've done over the last few months, and I think this is just negative propaganda of it. That's my perspective. The unwinding of record-setting post-COVID central banks' balance sheets, sharply higher equity market volatility, and an exit of speculative investors have already forced non-commercial players out of their long positions, driving prices lower. Next article, Seeking Alpha. SLV long-term outlook for silver is bullish. Of course, SLV is a proxy for silver, as we all know. Summary is economic slowdown and likelihood of recession in the United States have increased demand for silver. The peak gold-silver ratio happened in 2020, with bearish formations indicate a higher silver price. Potential cup and handle on a long-term charts indicate that spot silver market breakouts from $50 may result in explosive price movement. I agree with that. If you haven't seen it, there's a long-term cup and handle formation, and once silver is above 50, which is a nominal number, because $50 today is worth a lot less than 50 in January of 1980. Regardless, chart-wise, there's no upside resistance at all. Just to give you a quick idea, here is one I picked off the web. With your cup, as you can see here, and the handle coming down from left to right, going down is actually bullish. And the whole theory of this cup and handle formation is once you get above 50, which it hit in 1980 and April 2011, then once it works its way back here, as I said, there's everyone that owns it, and a nominal number is at a profit. And there won't be much selling because everyone will want to know how high can silver go. And at that point, it's going to go. Now, my idea is that once we get into this level, it'll probably sell off and you could see it back down to, 40 or something. A lot of disappointment will be taking place, and then it will build itself back up and it'll break through again. And once it breaks through again, or the next time, then it will be on its way. Yeah, a little technical talk from FX Street. Basically, the silver markets exceeded the resistance of 22.25 and moved higher. The formation of an inverted head and shoulders are a bullish sign and aims for $27 silver in the near term. And next resistance is about 30, which is a long-term pivot. I think it's 30 to 33, but regardless, in that range. And the inverted head and shoulder formation was developed in such a way that the head of these patterns consists of a triple bottom. The triple bottom indicates that silver may begin to encounter long-term resistance around the $30 to $35 level. I agree with that. Every week, of course, with Photovoltaic PV Magazine, you'll see something about silver. This is JA Solar, plans to build a 2 gigawatt solar module in Arizona, and they will go commercial shortly thereafter. As most of you know, I've been pretty favorable to the platinum story. This is from Mining Weekly. Pronounced platinum production plummet predicted by independent consultant. I watched this whole interview. It was rather long and frankly a bit boring even for me, but nonetheless, the point's well taken that in his view, there is inadequate power South Africa's power grid limitations stand in the way of connecting new generation from areas with the best solar and wind resources. And you can read the whole article. Basically, it's very bullish platinum for a lot of reasons. And even though everyone talks about Russia's platinum output, it's about 10% of the market, whereas South Africa's platinum output is 70 to 80% of the market. So that's the one to put your eyes on, is what's going on in South Africa. Is that going to be easy to produce more platinum or more difficult? The answer is much more difficult. Looking at the World Platinum Investment Council, this is from 11 January, a couple days ago. Industrial demand for platinum in 2023 is forecast to be the second strongest year on record. You can read the whole article. It's obviously bullish platinum, and yes, I do have a platinum position. Continuing on with another article, demand for platinum is expected to increase 10% to 2.3 million ounces, with a notable increase in demand for the glass industry. The robustness of the 2023 industrial platinum demand forecast is rooted in strong and diversified foundations, which leave it well insulated from the nearer-term recessionary outlook, the council explains. So, again, it's an extremely small market. This article goes on to say it adds that platinum in use in parallaxene and silicon markets remain broadly level year on year. The slowing economic outlook and elevated gas prices are expected to weigh on European silicon demand, offsetting improvements in China and other emerging markets. Meanwhile, platinum demand for the petroleum industry is projected to decline, with the International Energy Agency downgrading expectations for oil demand due to a slowing global economy. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this week. This is David Morgan of themorganreport.com signing out with another weekly perspective.